How much is too much for a car? That's a loaded question, I readily admit it. And it's fraught with a lot of controversy and a lot of different opinions. And the issue will never be settled because people feel so passionately about the answer to that question. Now, this is a test driver, no doubt, but let's assume it's the owner of this really hot looking Ferrari Scuderia. If you were to ask him how much is too much for a car, he's probably going to give you a different answer than you would. Because for him, this 200,000, actually I think this one's even more, but let's say it's just a regular 430. The $200,000 Ferrari F430 to the owner is probably a good deal. For the kind of exclusivity this car delivers, the performance, the power, the coolness of a car like that, to him or her, the money's worth it. So when it comes to a value system critique, I'm real careful when I start treading into that, because if we start criticizing other people about their value system, we become hypocrites, because almost always there's something that we value that other people don't. They'll look at us and they'll say, dude, you're an idiot for paying that for that. And you know what? To them, that's how they perceive it. Just like to a lot of people, maybe a Honda Civic owner looking at him saying, oh man, you should have done a lot better things with that money than do this. What if this guy's got terminal cancer? He's just living the high life until he dies. You know, what then? Who are we to say and make judgments about its value system? Now, that's a hot car. Provides outstanding performance, exclusivity like I referred to. It's amazing. But what if we can get into that exclusivity and that performance for a lower price point? That for us, we get the same level of satisfaction the owner of this car does, but we do it for a lot less. Yes, I'm going to draw a parallel between that and knife owning, or knife addiction, which I readily admit I have, probably just like you. And there are direct parallels. So, what if we can get into that performance and coolness for a lot less? And it makes us happy. In the August 2000 issue of Automobile Magazine, that's what they're talking about. It's called Giant Killers, 5 of the world's best performance bargains. What a great article this is. And almost every car they profile, by the way, from the GTR to the Z06, which I'll refer to the Lancer Evo 10, they're just excellent. And what we're going to talk about, though, is the Z06, because this is a direct parallel of what we're talking about. What if for us, let's say our criteria for a car is absolute performance. That we want a car that does 0 to 60 in less than 4.5 seconds. We want a loud engine. We want reliability. And yes, we want coolness. And for us, let's say the Z06 does it for us. I mean, it gives us the same level of enjoyment to us as this dude's getting from his Ferrari. You know, there's really no different. There's no difference. If this guy's as happy driving this, or actually vice versa, if this dude's just as smoking happy driving that as this Ferrari owner, what's the difference between the individuals? Is there any? I submit there is none. Check this. This is a spec corner of the article, excellently done, by the way, and it talks about just this. Here's an Ferrari F430 at $119,650. That's a lot of money, and yet they show in the specification box that the $72,000 Corvette ZO6 6th generation provides exactly the same performance. Actually a little bit better. It beats it in the quarter mile. That's pretty cool. So this is what we're talking about. How much is too much for a car? $72,000 too much? Ask a Z06 owner. I guarantee he'll probably say, no way, man. It's a bargain. I get supercar performance for $72,000, and I can get it serviced at my local dealership. I mean, it's a steal. How much is too much to pay for a knife? Same question. I mean, it's an honest question, and there's a lot of controversy about that. And I don't really have the right answer because it varies according to what knife we're talking about. But in the world of folding tactical knives, here's a Corvette ZO6. The Bradley Cutlery Alias 1, the larger knife. Alias 2 is also cool. That's the smaller knife. This is the Z06 of the folding knife world, delivering the performance, the intrinsic value, the intangible coolness qualities of a much more expensive Chris Reeve Sibenza knife. Now, if you know anything about knives, you'll know that the Chris Reeve Sibenza knife is highly touted on the internet. Everybody, their dog and their grandmother, talks about how uber cool these knives are, and they are. Don't get me wrong, they're awesome, but they're also very expensive. How expensive? Well, the Chris Reeve large Sebenza, the plain one, if you're lucky, you'll pay $385 for it. The smaller one, if I'm not mistaken, is not much cheaper. It's around $375. Now, again, to the value system. Is someone who buys a Chris Reeve Sibenza knife a fool? I submit to you, they ain't. Just like this guy in the Ferrari, maybe that's their value system. To get that level of enjoyment, they feel they want to spend that level of money. Nothing wrong with that. I say rock on. However, for me, I'm more of a Z06 type. I want the coolness, I want the performance, but I want it at a more affordable price point. And because this is a Bradley cutlery instead of a Sebenza, to be honest, it doesn't matter much to me. I don't care, you know, yeah, it's not a Sebenza name, but I really don't care so much about that, because this, in my opinion, delivers the exact same level of performance as a Sebenza folding knife. And that level of performance, by the way, is outstanding. So let's talk briefly about this awesome blade. One of my all-time favorite folding tactical knives, at least as of this date, July 2008. First off, the S30V blade is perfectly shaped. Has a very similar shape to the Sebenza. However, the swage on the top is more acutely ground, coming to more of a piercing tip, I think, than the Sebenza. Nice sweep on the blade for slash cut. So in my opinion, it's ideally suited for both slash cut and a piercing cut. Actually, this blade reminds me a lot of my Microtech UDTs. Also, my ProTech TR3 automatic knives. About a 3/4 flat grind, flat grind to the edge. Just a beautifully shaped, well proportioned tactical blade. Very, very nicely executed. About 3.6 inches long, if I'm not mistaken. How's the deployment speed? I could talk all night about that. The deployment speed on this knife is akin to an automatic. I kid you not. I didn't show it there, but let me show it again. It's just fast. And no, you don't need wrist action to do it. It's hard for me to look through the viewfinder and do this at the same time. Let me look to the side. There we go. The Bradley is just fast. Smooth. Uber tight lockup. No play whatsoever. I mean, it just is just wickedly awesome. Phosphor bushings. I mean, the lockup, do I even need to talk about it? It's Sebenza-like, and however, I think on their own merits, Bradley cutlery is outstanding. This one happens to be the first production run. I just lucked out, happened to get it. It's number 09 something something. But that's pretty cool. S30V, I don't need to say much about that. Pretty much regarded as of 2008 as the best blade steel out there. High carbon content, holds an edge really well, great toughness, stain resistant. Beautiful stonewash finish on this Bradley. Run out of time, so I gotta hurry. Nice titanium lock design, super strong, just like the Sebenza. Great titanium finish on this. They do make some limited edition blue ones. Good luck finding them. There's anodized thumb stud, also pillars construction, also anodized. Very cool. Flows through. Nice pocket clip. I'm not even going to criticize where it's placed. Just strong. Nicely polished. This is a very high enjoyment knife. And for me, it gives me the same level of enjoyment as a Sebenza would. Just like a Ferrari. However, it comes in at a lot lower price. Under 200 bucks if you look around. Almost $200 less than a Sebenza. So this is definitely the Corvette ZO6 of the knife world. Outstanding performance at a not so outrageous price. If you're looking for uber quality in ZO6,